This is the Phil Hendry Show.
Belmar Academy, Father James McQuarters. And Father McQuarters, I know that there is safety on the minds of parents and members of the clergy for Halloween tonight.
The most important question, though, Phil, is whether or not the kids are feeling like they're having fun. It's the most important thing for a child to have fun. And it's the most important thing for a child, Phil, to enjoy his childhood. But we do want the parents to know that on Halloween, children should have fun, but gunshot wounds are not uncommon. When you approach the front door...
now, this was all part of the sermon you gave last weekend.
At Belmar, yes.
All right. So this we just jump into this, but when the kids approach the door as trick-or-treaters, clearly identify who you are, right?
Clearly, when you ring the door as a child, approaching the front door when you're trick-or-treating tonight, and Mommy and Daddy can help you with this, clearly identify that you're a trick-or-treater through the door. State it clearly and state it loudly. Otherwise, there is a risk, I say to some of the parents, that someone might believe you're an intruder, and there have been gunshot deaths at Halloween time.
Well, Father McQuarters is with us, and Halloween is a great time for kids, though, right? We don't want anybody to think that it's not. It's a time that kids should have fun.
Well, Halloween, yes.
In other words, we don't want to just jump right into the program and tell kids when you approach the door to trick-or-treat tonight, clearly identify who you are.
Oh, we want the children, no. Don't misunderstand, it should be fun-filled, but we are alert to the dangers that children face.
Does the Catholic Church like Halloween? In other words, is there any prohibition? I don't remember. I was raised Catholic.
No.
I was raised Catholic, and I don't remember any prohibition against it.
No, we've got no problem with it. But we do want you to keep in mind these the different dangers that the police and the different agencies tell us about. For instance, the number of children hit by cars quadruples on Halloween. And also the incidence of children choking on candy and going to the emergency room goes up some 20%. So while it sounds like we're giving a laundry list of things that are bad about Halloween, we just want you to be on guard. And we want...
All right, so you're saying that 4 times as many kids get hit by cars on Halloween, 20% choke on candy?
20% of all choking cases that come to an emergency room are children under the age of 14 choking. And we've also found that if yards are not well lit, this is something for the parents to keep in mind. If the yard's not well lit, children can trip on a lawn hose or a flower pot or wet leaves, and this has caused serious injury, Phil, and even deaths.
Deaths. All right. So we're talking about be careful or you're going to die out there, and I suppose that is advice that anybody doing anything should take, right?
That's true, but we're talking about children going out on Halloween while you might take care driving your car to work. A child alone, and a child who's gone out to have candy on Halloween and suddenly is faced with some adult that wishes to do something heinous, something real different. And this is what we're trying to protect the children from. One of the things I do as part of my ministry, Phil, as you know, is to visit Children's Hospital, and I've seen children from Halloween injuries and the sort who've been impaled on the branches of trees because some mother lover didn't light his yard, and there are children who suffer from pancreatic cancer.
Pancreatic cancer because of the overload on the insulin?
Because of the overproduction of insulin, right.
So, but we're not trying to discourage a family from trick-or-treating.
Well, I would say that's a decision that you have to make for yourself. I can tell you that from the several parents I've spoken with, there are in large metro areas these devil cults, or what they call devil clubs now. And they're deadly serious people. They've been known to kidnap children. And again, this is something that parents should keep in mind, not to scare the children, but they have been known to kidnap children. And the great tragedy of this is that some of them practice cannibalism. And so we have...
All right, well, there is a serious risk of children being murdered then.
No, it's not. It's just things to keep in mind to have a safe Halloween.
A kid's going to get hit by a car, the kid's going to choke on candy, he could get impaled on a tree branch from slipping on wet leaves, and now you're talking about, and of course I'm aware that there are devil worshippers and devil cults. I'm aware of that.
But you're not aware that they've taken on a more more of a satanic sheen. They now do practice cannibalism. And for the rest of us, this is a red flag, a warning sign. But no, we want the children to enjoy Halloween.
All right, Father James McQuarters from Belmar Academy. Our number 1-800-449-8686. 1-800-449-8686. It's scary, isn't it?
Well, I've never had children, Phil. I've been a priest ever since I got out of high school and went into the seminary. It was not my calling in life to have children, but I wouldn't want you to worry. I know that your children have a good father, and they have a good mother in Maria. But I know that when you take the kids out trick-or-treating tonight, there is some danger of losing an eye because of a lot of firecrackers are used. And
losing an eye. Well, Father, when your sermon last week provoked some outrage among parents. It was considered at times insensitive. Isn't that right?
Well, Phil, parents would be well advised to pay more attention to their children on Halloween.
Yeah, but wasn't your sermon, you said something about take a chill pill?
That is a colloquial phrase that I use. I say this, Phil, because
You told the parents to chill out, even though you were saying that there were devil worshippers out there that practiced cannibalism, and your kids could get impaled through the skull on a tree branch if they slipped on a wet leaf, that they were...
Well, you're making it sound as if the entire sermon was in a negative vein, and it was not.
Well, what was positive about it?
Well, I think the positive part is that I did bring up, and we would all do well to remember, that Catholic priests are the only ones who have an exorcism rite, and as such are the only ones capable and blessed by God and in the presence and proxy of Jesus Christ are the only ones capable of casting out a devil in the rite of exorcism. And before you begin to talk about your parish priest as if he's a child molester or one who would abuse the innocence of a child, you'd be well advised to remember that it is a Catholic priest that cast the demon from the child in the film Exorcist, and it's a Catholic priest, if your child were to become possessed by a demon, be a Catholic priest that would come to your home and cast the demon out. And you'd be well advised not to continue the harassment of priests, but to keep your eye on your own child. Because this is Halloween night. 'Tis a night when evil things have full sway. 'Tis a night when all things evil have full control of the earth. You'd be well advised that if you think it's the night when a child goes door to door for candy, that you could well find your own child in a hobo costume, a ballerina suit, or a Klingon costume with a tree branch through his skull because he slipped on wet leaves.
And you're not trying to scare us from trick-or-treating.
I'm trying to advise you that...
And then that whole public relations pitch you did there for the priest, that was very cute.
I'm not trying to be cute, Phil.
Have you ever exorcised or have you ever done an exorcism?
In 1987, yes, I did.
You performed an exorcism?
Yes, I did.
Where?
In Santa Barbara.
In California?
California, yes.
Who was it?
I can't divulge the boy's name. He was a minor.
It was a young boy that was possessed?
Yes.
Were his parents there?
The church canon law does not allow for the exorcist, allows only for the exorcist. You didn't see Ellen Burstyn in the room with Linda Blair. So the parent will screw up an exorcism as sure as God made green apples. So
you were with a boy in Santa Barbara without his parents?
Okay, now I see where you're going with this. Okay.
No, seriously, you were in Santa Barbara...
No, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, you were in Santa Barbara with a kid. I have to ask the question...
I'm insulted. And for you to think that the only hope that your daughter Catherine, who is entering her teenage years and as such is a prime candidate for possession, escapes the claws of the demon, and that I would be the one to help her...
I had to ask the question.
You're a piece of garbage, Phil, for asking a question like that. This boy was the walking dead. This child was what we would call a zombie. He was taking orders and going out and committing crimes.
For some guy who had control of his mind?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Father, would you hold on?
I'd be happy to.
Father James McQuarters, Halloween. Have fun, but remember, Kids get hit by cars 4 times as many times. Kids choke on candy 20% more times. Kids slip on flower pots and wet leaves and get impaled on tree branches. Kids suffer from pancreatic cancer from too much sugar. The fact that there are demon or devil cults that have been known to kidnap children, and they practice cannibalism. But other than that, have a good time tonight. It doesn't sound to me like the man wants us to have a good time at all. Our number is 1-800-449-8686, 1-800-449-8686. And, of course, the other point that bears repeating, with all of the criticism that we've had of Catholic priests over the last several years, really, it is true they're the only ones who have a actual exorcism rite, and the only ones who are trained in the art of exorcising demons or devils. Talking with Father James McQuarters from Belmar Academy. This is Halloween tonight, and his parish, at least, has come out with some safety tips, how kids should trick-or-treat. Do you think that people are over the child molestation, one of the most serious things that has ever happened in the history of the Catholic Church? Do you think they're over it?
I think they are, Phil. I think people have a great capacity to forgive. And I think people have moved on. And I think that while some priests were guilty of abusing a child, most people have been able to put that into perspective and say it's not near as bad as other threats to us as people. The threat of the devil himself. And the real threat that arises and exists against our children. The threat of a child-molesting priest is nowhere near as serious as a devil cult or a demon cult that practices, if you can believe this, Phil, cannibalism, takes the child from the street, takes the child back to a safe house, and there the child is prepared for some kind of evil, horrific feast. That is much worse than...
Well, let me go back, because I know that there is evil in the world, but you're saying that you feel that most Catholics have forgiven the priests for what they've done.
I think most people have forgiven the priests, because in retrospect it wasn't as bad as other things we've had to face. Al-Qaeda and the whole 9/11 situation, which I understand upset a lot of people, and the anthrax, which I'm given to understand was also frightening for some people. I read in the paper also about something else. I forget, it was the sniper in Washington.
Well, there was a sniper loose in Washington, yeah.
And I understand people were upset about that?
Yes, they were upset about that. They were upset about 9/11. You know, they're upset about anthrax.
It's because it's interesting to know what upsets people. So I understand this, Phil. But I don't think anything is more upsetting to a parent than to suddenly lose your child and know that somewhere there is a devil cult that is preparing the child for consumption by a...
Okay, this is...
It's sickening, isn't it?
Yes, it's sickening. Absolutely sickening. And I don't think it's anything we ought to be scaring kids with, do you?
Not at all, and I would never scare the children with it. But I want them to be aware of it. Go out and have a good Halloween, but be aware of strangers. Clearly say you're a trick-or-treater. I've known parents and some adults who live alone who will shoot through the door because they don't know who's there.
1-800-449-8686. Some chilling advice here from Father James McQuarters from Belmar Academy. And you're inside the church right now?
Yes, right now, Phil. We're actually preparing for a funeral. A very dear friend of mine, William Fraud, died. And that's Father Staley who's playing the organ now.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. So the answer to the question, have people forgiven Catholic priests, is yes.
Oh, without question, without a doubt in my mind, people have completely forgiven us and have been able to walk away and say, everybody's entitled to at least one mistake. And I think that even in the case of
kids being molested.
Well, I think so, Phil, because people tonight know that this is Halloween night. All evil things have full sway. And who do you want to pick your fight with? Do you want to fight Satan and have at your side a Catholic priest who is skilled in the rites of exorcism Or do you want to have, and excuse my language, but I think it's fitting, do you want to have a hard-on for priests? Because of one little slip, because of a wee peek, and the next thing you know, a demon, sure as God made green apples, and the love of Jesus and Mary themselves, they shine upon your face, a demon has swollen into and consumed and subsumed your child. Nay, nay, I say, that's nothing that you would want. And that's why I say what is most important is that you...
Forgive the priests because they molested a kid because you might get possessed by a demon.
I don't think...
This is all medieval stuff, though.
I don't really think it'll happen, but I am saying that we do have... If anyone is going to help you, we will.
All right, tonight is Halloween. The children will be out trick-or-treating. You advise that they clearly identify themselves as trick-or-treaters to avoid being shot through the door with a shotgun.
It's happened, yes it has. As gruesome as it sounds, Phil.
So kids just walk up to the door and where did this happen?
I think it happened in Denver, Colorado a number of years ago, where a man heard footsteps on his front patio. He called out, "Who's there?" and no one identified themselves. And he opened up with an automatic weapon and shot through the door.
And they were trick-or-treaters.
Yep. You got it.
You're also advising that people clear away all of their pots and all of their hoses and anything else that a child may trip on, because you've been to the kids' hospital and you've seen kids impaled through the eye on tree branches.
You bet. And sometimes they can't even get the tree branch out.
And you're also saying that kids should go out and enjoy Halloween.
Have a ball.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I don't...
Well, how can you come on here and say this?
I'm just simply saying, when a child goes to the front door, Phil, are you listening to me? I don't want you to get excited.
How can you tell a kid to enjoy himself?
When you can enjoy yourself, but the first thing you should do about 25 feet away from the door is to say, "Don't shoot, I'm a trick-or-treater."
Don't shoot, I'm a trick-or-treater.
Yes. Yes. I know, I've seen what's happened. But if you do that, you can have a great time, you can have a ball. Get out and rock and roll. And repeat it over and over again. Don't shoot, I'm a trick-or-treater. Don't shoot, I'm a trick-or-treater. Don't shoot, I'm a trick-or-treater.
Until you get to the front door.
Until you get to the front door, right.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Let's go to Nina. Nina, you're on the Phil Henry Show. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
I heard this guy say that there are worse things to happen to a child than being molested.
But
and
the possession of a demon, the possession of a demon.
No,
Nina,
sir.
and I'm a
parent. And if my son was to be molested by the priest that I entrusted his life to, there would be nothing worse than that.
But let me ask you, if the child is possessed by a devil, who will come to exorcise the demon?
God.
No, but the priest...
And for your information,
God.
sir, the Bible says, rebuke the devil and he will flee. So if I believe in God and I say, get out of my child, the devil will get out of my child.
Well,
but for you to tell me that you're the only one, the authority
you should have yelled
given
at
to
Father
you by
Staley the
God.
other day. I'm sorry, you should have yelled at Father Staley about 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Nina, thank you for your call. I think that
You're
you
welcome.
are right when you say...
Ma'am, by the sound of your voice, I'd imagine you've lit a few candles and a few skulls. So
That's completely inappropriate. 1-800-449-8686. He knows how to exorcise demons, so maybe you can forgive him the molestation of children. Don't forget our website, philhenryshow.com. Last night I got to bed about 1 o'clock because I was downloading and then playing this Sims game. That's a good game. Yeah, real good game. I was on my computer and, you know, they have these games that they give you for free, and they gave me these Sims people. So there I was, playing this game, and if you've never played Sims, I'm sure you've heard of it. You can create a person, literally create a home for a person or two people, and create a life for this person. But while you're creating the life for the person, you have to remember to take them to the toilet, take a bath, clean up their house, eat, buy furniture, take care of their emotional needs, and on and on and on and on. Because I'd heard the kids talking about it, and one of my friends was saying, yeah, it was really cool. We got this Sims game where you build an amusement park, and we had the roller coaster, you know, end in midair so that everybody died and burned up in a forest fire. And Craig likes to play that game. But the game that I have is just the Sims People Creator. So last night, there I am, desperately trying, and I picked the guy that I wanted was a bachelor. That's the guy that I wanted. I had this little house and just the bachelor. Because I thought it would be cool to start with one guy and try and see if you can get him a life. I desperately tried to get this guy laid, but I couldn't remember to clean his house up. He went 2 days without going to work, so he doesn't have any money, so he doesn't have any food, so he's hungry, and I actually got this girl to fall in love with him, this newbie by the name of Betty. So she would come right over, and then they'd hug, and I got her into the bedroom. Okay, now she's in an apartment. Keep in mind that in the Sims game, you can see into the apartment. The walls are transparent. The walls will knock down wherever you need to. So I actually got her interested enough so she went into his bedroom. Now keep in mind, there's piles of food in the living room with flies all over them. There's piles of food everywhere with flies. He hasn't mopped up the shower water on his floor because he's taken shower after shower after shower. And on this particular day, when she came over and I looked down at his relationship file, and this Betty, it was 100% love. It had a little heart there. It meant she was in love with him, right? On the one day she's there, and on the one day that he coaxed her into the bedroom, he stinks to high heaven. He hasn't had a shower in 2 days, and there's flies buzzing around crap in his living room. So, because it'll pop up a little pop-up screen, you click on the girl and say hug, talk, compliment her, whatever you want to do, however you want to make this relationship move forward, right? And I was able to get this relationship going forward with just him talking to her, right? Because every time he complimented her, she turned to walk away. So I just kept him talking and talking, and pretty soon she was kind of digging it. So then I got him to entertain her, and he started juggling, and she was digging that. She laughed. And then I even got him to hug her, and she hugged him back. Okay, so now I got it going on real cool. So now comes like day 3 or 4 in this relationship. I get her back over to the house. Keep in mind, the guy hasn't eaten in 2 days. But I got to do something here, because he doesn't have any money. So I figure maybe love will keep this guy alive until I can get him to bed early enough. Here's the other problem. I wasn't getting this guy to bed until 3 in the morning, and he was missing his ride to work. So he's getting up at like 10:30. You hear this, and the car take off, and the guy wakes up. Forget it, There is no button for oral sex, though, that I can see on this game. However, it does have kissing and hugging, and it has... Well, what other buttons does it have? Does it actually say have sex?
I've never gotten that far.
Greg's never gotten that far either. He's never gotten that far either. But I got her into the house, I got her into the bedroom, and he was in his pajamas. When he called her up, it was in the morning because he'd missed his ride to work, so he had nothing to do for the rest of the day. He doesn't have any money, can't buy food, but he called up Betty. She came over, and he was juggling for her and playing pinball with her, and then she's watching, and she actually walked into the bathroom when he was taking a shower, and he got out nude, and she was standing there. So what does that tell you? I mean, that's fairly serious, right? So the dude gets into his clothes, goes into the bedroom, and as soon as she hugs him, she does one of these, ew, because he stunk. And I look down at his hygiene bar, and it's like it's 0. So, excuse me, he didn't take a shower yet. He didn't take a shower. Then I got him to take the shower. Then when he came out, she was now kind of distancing from him. So I hit talk on this button over and over again. Talk. Just talk to her, man. And she's gradually walking out the door. Talk. Finally, she turns around and starts coming back, right? It's just talk, okay? So she finally comes right up to him, and then I hit hug, and she didn't dig it. And she turned around and, started to split. And I think one of the reasons why she split is because his emotional life was forget it. I didn't have enough furniture for him. I didn't have enough food. His life sucked. I had to sell his TV set so we could get some money in the bank for food, right? So all the guy had was a CD player on his kitchen table. And so because of his really messed up head, she just turned and split. She couldn't dig hanging with this guy. I did this till 1 o'clock in the morning. So this morning I told the kids, they go, oh, so hooked on video games, huh? The next time you give us crap about playing video. One other woman walked by his house, and she was really sweet, and he ran across the street and started talking to her. I had him go across the street, go and start talking to her, and she was sort of digging it, but gradually she just blew him off, and she kept on going. Because half the time, all the guy was doing was crying because he didn't have a relationship, and then screaming because he didn't have a TV set, and then screaming because he didn't have a couch, and then tired because he needed to sleep. Then I'd put him to bed, and he'd over-miss his ride. It's 12 noon, so I'd try to get him to take a nap, and he'd get up at 6 in the evening. The guy's life sucked. If I were God, it'd be a bad thing. If I were God, it'd be a bad thing. So you got to get the Sims game to see how life would be if you were God. And the other thing about this guy's life, it reminded me so much of mine, like in about 1975. No TV, no furniture, crap, place stunk, finally get a girl over, talk, and she finally, well, I got to go now, it's kind of late. And I'm there till 1 o'clock in the morning. And getting depressed about this, too. God, I got to get this guy laid. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.